Do you experience recurring patterns regarding intimacy and regarding fulfillment in your life? Is it happening to you that you are deeply wishing for something from your depth of your soul and it's not happening? Instead of that, the same thing over and over comes back. Is that maybe resonating? So I want to speak about a trauma work. I have been working in the field of intimacy and trauma awareness and tantric field for many years now. And what I'm observing is we very often identify with ideas of something that we really want. I'm going to speak about myself. I used to deeply wish for having a meaningful, deep relationship, stable. I also was deeply wishing for a successful professional life. However, in my mind, I kept telling myself that I should already be there. And it happens so very often that in our mind, we already know what we have to do. In our mind, we already know the exact steps how to get there. And yet, we are somehow feeling stuck. How many times did it happen for you that you know exactly what to do to actually become successful, and yet you're sitting at home and all that stuff is lying there and you're not touching it? So it is connected to the fact that we are not really bringing attention to where are we really at. We always want to be in the future, we always want to be already somewhere else, but we are not really feeling into what is here and now. And so that's where the trauma work comes in. I work with biodynamic breathwork and trauma awareness and trauma release. And I have learned through the time that our body stores all sorts of very old emotions and resentments and pains and even pleasures and even feeling joy. At some point in our life, maybe something happened. And in most of the times, we don't even realize that whatever happened actually created trauma. We think trauma is for the people that went through some kind of killing situation or maybe accident, broken bones, but actually not. Actually, trauma is being created every time that there is an impulse and the emotion comes and you don't express it. That's when we kind of push this energy back into our body and it stays stuck in our nervous system. And imagine that every time that you wanted to maybe punch somebody, but it was your authority, so you couldn't do it, you just kind of stuff it in there. Or every time that you felt like you wanted to cry and you didn't do it, all this energy is stuffed in our body and it kind of creates contraction and armoring. It could be that as a child you've been told it's not okay to cry. When you were crying and your whole chest contracted and your body learned how to stop yourself from actually letting that energy flow. But there's a reason. Emotion, it's energy in motion. So when you are not allowing that energy to flow, you are creating blocks and they live in your body. And so then when your mind thinks that you should already have a relationship, but what kind of relationship do you have with yourself? What kind of relationship do you have to your body? And so that's where the trauma work comes into the picture. And for me, as an intimacy coach, trauma work is an absolute groundwork for starting with intimacy. Just going deep within yourself and finding the wisdom of your body and acknowledging the place where are you at. That's where the intimacy starts. And that's where all your dreams coming true start, by being here and now in your body, fully embodied, loving the place where you are at.